Welcome. This is going to be an overview of Tour Guide 2. This is the course that will try to help everybody with delivery and presentation of the tours that you're doing. And it's really important, and the reason it's important is because we have a wonderful opportunity to inform people that don't know about the issues, and at the same time, we can facilitate change and perhaps ultimately end the trade, and so that all these cats would be where they belong and not in prison. And so if you're a tour guide, you have that power. So hopefully this information will be of help for you. So when you're giving a tour, you've got 20 people that are looking to you, or 22 people that are looking to you for direction and information, and they're looking at you. And you're talking to them. And so the first thing you want to make sure is that they can hear you. So be sure to speak with appropriate volume. You'll have a tour guide backup, and so this is the person that can tell you if you can't be heard because they're on the other end of the tour. And we recommend that they raise their hand so you can see them rather than just holding their ear, and you may not be able to see them. But this is really important because if people can't hear you, you're going to lose their interest, and they're just going to go wandering around, and they're going to take a tour all by themselves, and we don't want that to happen. So now you have your group, and it's very important that they understand you. And the best way for that to happen is for you to use very clear diction. Pronounce your words carefully. Speak slowly so people have a chance to really understand what you're saying. And if you're not known for your diction, you might want to practice it. And the best way to do that is to overemphasize words. Listen to broadcasters, professional broadcasters on radio and television, and listen to how they articulate and they emphasize. And the diction they use is really, really good so that everybody can understand what they're saying. You want to articulate confidently. And the telltale of not being confident is, well, I don't, and you hesitate. And people do that all the time because what it's doing is giving them an opportunity to think about what they're going to say. But if you already know what you're going to say, you understand the layout of your tour and the mission that you're trying to accomplish at each of your stations, then you shouldn't really need to do that. And people respond to that because it sends a big message saying, you know what you're talking about. Have you ever gone into a store and there's a clerk there that kind of sends the message, don't bother me, I'm busy? Well, you're not inclined to buy from that particular store, are you? And the same thing is true when you're given a tour because, like it or not, you're selling. You're selling the mission. You're selling what we're all about. And so you need to have enthusiasm. You need to have energy. It's so contagious. If you're by nature just laid back and are not that kind of person, try to become that kind of person. Get in a padded room and scream your head off. It's allowed. Just be sure it's padded. And you just look at examples of people that have energy and how you relate to them. It's very, very contagious. And that's what gets people up. And we want people up. We want them to leave here understanding that Big Cat Rescue is standing for something really important and that they need to get behind what we're doing so we can accomplish our goals. Knowledge. Knowledge is power, and it certainly is when it comes to what we're doing here. And so you really are encouraged to do your homework. And there's several ways that you can learn. Of course, backing up tours, and you'll get the tour guides, a bunch of tour guide spins on history and cats and the issue and lots of interesting information. But there's lots of other places. Books, wow, there's lots of good books out there. The internet, a vast resource. You have a question about a cat, what are their characteristics? Take the time to look it up. Don't make it up, because if you do, you could be caught and your credibility goes down the tube. But make it a practice. In fact, it's really a great lifelong practice to constantly try to learn more about what you're involved with. And the more you know on your tours, the more people will respect you and the more impact you will have with them. Go out with a clear understanding of what you're going to talk about at a particular cat. And so what a lot of tour guides will do is go out on a tour path, look at each of the cats, and come up with what is the message that that cat represents. And it's really interesting because guess what? You do that a few times, you will never be inconsistent because you will know at this particular cat we're going to be talking about they don't make good pets. We're talking about hybrids. We're talking about a variety of issues. And you tie it to a specific cat so it serves as a reminder to you. And it really helps. Okay, as you speak with people, you want to engage them. And the way you do that is by employing various tools available to you. And one of them is tempo. If somebody's talking with you and they just talk in just the same speed all the time, blah, 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 so it's da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, after a while you're going to get bored. So you want to vary your tempo for emphasis point. Like, do you know? Wow. And what else am I doing? I'm changing the pitch. This is inflection. So you say, wow, did you see that? As opposed to, wow, did you see that? And it has a huge impact. And practice that. Engaging interaction, a wonderful, wonderful tool. A great way to get people to bond with you and the mission. So rather than going out there as a school professor and telling the world all about cats, how about engaging them, saying, hey, what do you think about this? Or, isn't that an attractive ring? Or, did you ever think this was really the way it was? And people will all of a sudden begin to respond to you. And it really works when you have the disinterested husband. Oh boy, this guy is there because the boss dragged him for a tour of cats, and this guy only loves dogs. And you ask him one or two questions in front of 22 people, guess what? You're going to get his attention, and he will be with you. And it's a wonderful conversion process. So these are really effective techniques that you can use to bring people in. Children are a great way to do it as well. You have some young kids. Ask them, what did you think about this? And did you ever have a cat? And what did you think about having a cat? And it just goes on. And it's usually pretty gratifying. It gets people involved. One of the most precious, valuable tools in dealing with people is humor. Everybody likes to laugh. Well, you might say there's not a whole lot to laugh about out here at Big Cat Rescue, but actually there is. If you go and walk around and see some of the antics of these cats and reacting to you, or the cats that come over and roll over on their back, or the other cats that turn around, lift their tail and try to spray you, this is really neat stuff, and you can relate that. And try to do that because people will become engaged. Don't let it debilitate the importance of the message, though. And so, as I tell some folks on my tours, this is a bittersweet place. It's very, very bitter because of the conditions that have led to our being here. On the other hand, it can be very funny because cats are very funny. So these are some of the tools that are available to you. How do you develop them? Well, practice, really do it. Go out and do it. If you're shy and don't want to do it in front of other people, or if you're a new tour guide, take a small group out so that you can engage with them and you'll feel comfortable. And then try some of these things. Another thing you can do is go out with a mentor, a senior tour guide, and have them critique you. How about a video of you doing a couple of cats? It does wonders. I know you have to let the ego go a little bit, but it's really a powerful thing. We had one person who came out here as a tour guide and never knew that every other word she said was, every other word. We did a little video on her, and boy, did that get fixed quickly after she got through the tears, because she said, I never knew I did that. And that's the way you can learn. So open up. Ask for advice, ask for help. We're all here for the mission, and whatever it takes to get it done, we're going to help you get there.